Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited for this video because I've actually been back at uni for a month now, which has gone so quick, but I know you guys love my event management videos, so I thought I'd do a quick recap about how the first month has gone, what it's been like, and kind of what you can expect from going into third year in an events management degree, or just a third year in general. But I am going to be talking about my degree, which is events management, so it will be stuff that will probably differ from like the general degree, but I'm sure some things overlap as well. This is also going to be my last video with long hair because I'm actually getting my hair cut in like an hour, so I need to film this very quickly, but it's going. I'm getting it chopped, so that's another exciting thing that's happening today. But I've written down some notes, so I'm just going to get started with the first one and then we can go from there. So the first thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was my timetable. I have a total of 7 hours of lectures, which I appreciate is not very long, but I'm in for an hour on Monday and then 12 till 5 on Tuesday and then 12 till 3 on Friday, and I do have some hour breaks in between those longer days for like lunch and things. And actually my Monday lecture is going to stop next week, so then I only go in Tuesday and Friday. So there's not much work going on at uni, but it was supposedly for every hour in uni you're supposed to do 8 hours out of uni, which is a bit intense, but I definitely am going to the library on days where I don't have uni or going in earlier. So on Monday my lecture is at 4, but I tend to go in at 12 and just do like 4 hours in the library, and then on Thursdays I go into the library as well. So it's just trying to like make the most of your time and like what works for you in terms of like how you work best. But that is my timetable, so it's not hugely like time consuming, but then all the work outside of that is time consuming. So in terms of my courses, I've obviously got my dissertation, which I'm actually doing on, what am I doing it on? I've just reworded the question, which I can't remember, but it's motivations to attend a conference from a gender perspective, which I think will be pretty interesting. And then we've got contemporary issues in events management, so that's like sustainability and technology and terrorism and everything like that, so kind of like the current areas of like questioning and learning for that course, for that industry. And then I have event policy and regulations, which I don't understand at all. Like, it's hard, it's all about like the laws and the policies and everything, and it's very wordy and very like intricate, and it's a bit overwhelming at the moment, but hopefully I'll get my head around that one soon. And then I also have a course for my business placement, so I did an internship last year for 12 months, and to tie that in back with university I have to do a presentation and a 4,000 word essay about my placement. So that's also time consuming. It doesn't take up any space in my timetable, but for me I've obviously got to like factor that in. And then I have one more, which is venue management, which was my option. You have like 4 different options you can choose from, so I did that one just because that is mainly what my internship was about, so I thought it would be interesting, and I kind of had a leg up because I kind of already knew what I was talking about. And so far that's been really good. It's just kind of going through all of the different types of venues, what events can be held there, how best to find a venue, how best to source a venue, or like how to attract people to your venue. Lots of venues. But yeah, so that's all my courses. They're really interesting, really good. There's a lot of work to be done for them, a lot of reading to be done for them. But so far I am really enjoying it. I know I'm only a month in and all my deadlines start next month, so maybe ask me at the end of next month and I'll tell you a different answer. But for now it's just kind of interesting to kind of get my head back into it. As I said, I had a year off, so it's been a bit of a struggle kind of like transitioning back into university life, being a student again, but I think I'm finally getting to grips with it, which is good since all my deadlines are coming up very quickly. So kind of going on from that, I've been really struggling with essay writing. I have a lot of essays, so for each of the courses that I just said I have to do at least a 3,000 word essay, maybe a 4,000, so that's what, 5 essays, and the dissertation's 10,000, so I mean hello, that's a lot more. So yeah, total of 5 essays, god knows how many words in total, but I was alright during first and second year. Like, I always got like a 2-1 or a first in my essays, and for some reason just getting back into like the swing of uni, like the rhythm of it, has been really difficult. Because usually what I tended to do was I would do all the research for it first, so I'd read about it, copy and paste everything into a Word document, so I had like all of the key parts that I needed to know down rather than having to sift through every time, as well as like the author and everything. And then I'd have another page open and write from that, as well as like the mark scheme and stuff. So it was having like 3 pages open at once, writing everything down. But this year you have to be critical. That is the key. Like, if you want a first in your third year, critical analysis is like, that is what they're looking for. And I feel like my writing is quite descriptive at the moment, so I kind of just say like, so and so said this, And it's like, cool, but you're supposed to be saying like, so-and-so said this, which is good because it's supported by so-and-so, but in a matter of fact, if you look at it from the other hand, it was taken, like this data was from 20 years ago, so it may not be relevant, blah, blah, blah. So you have to like weigh up the pros and cons of like every argument you suggest and then come up with your own, which is like a lot more work, because obviously if you're just saying what people said, it's not very time consuming. But if you're having to like think critically about each thing you write, it does take a lot more time, and I think it's quite hard to adjust to that when I haven't written an essay in like over a year. So if you are coming from like a placement year, or you've been abroad for a year and you're coming back into uni, I would definitely say to like read up on like Harvard referencing and how to write an essay again and how to do critical analysis. And there's something called phrase bank, which is super useful because they have like starter sentences which you can use to like trigger your mind to be like, oh yeah, I could use that, or I could think of it like this way. But that's mainly the thing I'm struggling with the most, I think. It's just like getting my head back into essay writing, which I'm going to need to do because I think I've got like 5 deadlines in November, December, and then like the same again in March, which I know is going to come around so quickly because it's nearly November already. Didn't want to stress you out, this is not what this video is about, but for me, I'm not saying it's all been smooth sailing, like it has been difficult. I think I also mentioned in a previous video that not everyone in my year took a placement year, which means that I was doing first, second, third, which means I was doing first, second, gap, third, and some people just did first, second, third and graduated already, which means the second year from below us have now evened out with me, so I've got basically like the younger year or the year below in my year, which is completely wrong because they've been there the whole time. I've just joined their year. I'm late 1 year basically. So that has been really interesting. I think there's like 5 or 6 of us from my year. Everyone else is all new. So it's been very interesting having to meet so many new people, because you kind of think you have to do that in first year and then that's it. Not the case. We've had to do it all again this year. I mean, everyone's kind of gets it now. Everyone gets the swing of uni, and like new people come in every year from like direct transfers and stuff. So it's nothing no one knows. Like it's not like, oh my gosh, new person, what the hell are you doing here? Like people see new faces all the time. But it's the fact of like having to do group work and having to introduce yourself all over again, and like not necessarily knowing what your colleagues or like peers' strengths and weaknesses are. So I could end up working in a team with someone that I really don't get on with, but I just don't know that. So it's kind of like starting a career again, I guess, going to a new job where you just don't know anyone and you have to work with people you don't necessarily like. Luckily, because we're only a month in, I haven't found anyone that I don't like yet, which is great. All the girls seem to be really lovely. My course is mainly girls, and it's like 90% girls, I think, or something ridiculous. But we all seem to get on really well. We all kind of have like a similar way of working, or like we're all basically control freaks, basically, at the end of the day. So we all seem to get on quite well. We've all got the same priorities, which is great. So yeah, it's been interesting meeting a lot of new people. I'm never one for that. I tend to like find a clique or people I like and then just settle and like do not branch out at all, which is so bad, and I really need to like open my arms out a bit further and kind of reach out some olive branches and make some new conversations with people. So I've definitely been practicing that this year so far. No friendships have materialised yet. I've still got my old girls from second year, and then just like a few acquaintances from the next year. But obviously I'm only a month in and we only go in twice a week, so we don't see each other very often. So I'm sure coming the following months that may like build up a bit, might have some new pals to hang out with. But for now I'm just having fun with my old uni girls and meeting new people. I always get questions about working whilst at uni, so I thought I'd just touch on this as well. I'm currently doing a 0-hour contract, which means I get to pick and choose when I work, but also the company doesn't have to give me shifts. Like if there aren't any shifts, there aren't any shifts. So my work is never guaranteed like, oh, 18 hours a week or 12 hours a week or 30 hours a week. It's nothing like that. So my first couple of weeks of uni, I think I had about 12 hours a week, and then for the last 2 or 3 weeks I haven't had any. I've actually got a shift this Sunday, thank God, because my bank is crying. But I think that's like a 5 or 6 hour shift. So I haven't been doing that much work, not uni work, like work. I haven't been doing much of that, which I don't know if that's helped or not. Obviously I have more time on my hand, but my work was always in the evening anyway. And I don't tend to do schoolwork in the evening because just my brain can't handle it, so I tend to shut off by like 5-6 o'clock anyway. So I think coming up in a couple of weeks I've definitely got more work coming. I do work within the events industry, and events are always busy in December, so I've got a lot coming my way. as well as my deadlines, which I'm a bit worried about. But again, they don't conflict, like the hours that I do my work and then my uni work are completely different. So hopefully it will be fine. I really enjoy working alongside uni. It's just nice to have something else to do. I don't particularly have a lot of hobbies, like I don't go out and play sports or meet up with people like that. So uni is kind of like my social time, just to hang out with people that I wouldn't usually hang out with, whilst making some money, which is always great because my student loan is not very big. So yeah, I mean, I have to work, there's no other choice really, but I'm glad I work in a place I do with a 0 hour contract, so I can have that flexibility with my deadlines. And if I do find like over Christmas it is a bit difficult and I'm taking on too much work for my essays, I can always tone that down in March when I have to do it all over again. Finally, I thought I'd just talk about like my favourite bit being back at uni so far, and then like the hardest thing or the thing I've struggled with the most, just because I'm back at uni and it's always different, every year is different, so I thought if you were going into third year that would be quite interesting to know. So my favourite thing has probably, there is a hair in my eye. So my favourite thing has probably been the social aspect. When I was working full time I did not have a lot of time to meet up with other people, and if I did I was exhausted from working so hard. So coming into this year and having a lot of time on my hands has been really great because I've been able to meet up with family and friends from like ages ago, as well as my uni friends being back at uni because we were all off in separate parts of London and the rest of the UK. So having everyone back in the same place is really great, and it's just so much fun. I think working 9 to 5 like Monday to Friday has made me really appreciate this time off that I do have. I mean, it is a bit frustrating because like I could be working and earning a lot more money than I'm currently earning, but I think after this year that's it, I'm going to be working for like the rest of my life. So I'm making the most of this year, trying to do stuff in the days, trying to get my work done as efficiently as I can so I can have my evenings off with Christian and just things like that. So the social aspect has been really great. I know obviously that's not really to do with university or like being at university, but I think a big part of university is the social aspect. A lot of people will choose like a university that has good nightlife or a university with like a really great what's it called, student union and things like that. So it definitely is a big chunk of your university, and by third year you usually know who everyone is in your year, unlike me who took a year out. But either way, everyone's really friendly and it's great to meet new people in your industry or who will be in your industry, because gotta make those connections, you know. So I think I'm just really enjoying taking a step back from work and just kind of reaching out to friends and family and having some fun. The hardest part for me I have already kind of touched on, but it's that I feel as if I already know how to do an event management role or an event management job because I've done it for over a year and I got paid for it and I got promoted from it and I was very good at it, which is great to know. Obviously I wouldn't have known that without going to university, but now going back into university and just writing about it or reading about it or having to study it rather than doing it is very difficult. It's quite a struggle. You have to be very self-motivated to like get back into it rather than just go, you know what, I think I'm just going to work. And honestly I feel if I wasn't paying for my degree I might just say, nah, I'm done with this and just get a full-time job, because as I said, I do not have a lot of hours in the week, so it can be quite difficult to be like, oh, I could be doing so much more with my time. But I'm paying £9,000 a year, so I've already paid what, like 18,000 plus for my degree so far, so I'm not about to lose that money by dropping out of university. I know that getting that degree will really help me in finding future roles. Like the only reason I got my job that I had was because I was an intern in university. If I don't have a degree I think it would be very hard to get into a role like that. So it is like crucial for me to get it, and I'm going to work really hard to try and get the best grade that I can. But it is a bit of an odd one, thinking like, why am I reading about this? I already know this. Or why am I doing this? Like writing up this critical essay about it when I know I can do it. So it's just about like getting over my big head and stop being arrogant and just think like at the end of the day it will be worth it when you walk out with that degree, and then you have so many more doors open to you. But it's just a very difficult transition. I don't think people at university really mention that enough because they're so eager for you to go out and get an internship and do a placement, which you should because it's fantastic. But then they don't really talk about like, oh, then by the way, you're going to have a bit of a come down when you have to go back into university and kind of have to figure out what's what and like where the uni rooms are and how to write an essay and all of that all over again. But it's all good fun at the end of the day. You'll probably have friends who are doing the same as you like me, so you're all in it together, you can whinge about it together and you can get shit done together. So it works out quite well, but it's just something to bear in mind, and I think that has been the biggest struggle for me so far. Ask me again next time when I'm writing my dissertation and my answer will probably be very different. But yeah, that is everything I wanted to mention about my first month, I nearly said first year, about my first month back at uni. If you do have any other questions about third year or an events management degree or anything like that, please leave them in the box below. I do have quite a few event management videos already, so maybe have a browse through those if there's like question and answer videos. They always seem to be quite popular and like a good go-to, because I know there's not a lot of events management stuff out there on YouTube for some reason. But yeah, if you want any of that, have a look at those. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe down below. I post videos every Sunday, so hopefully I'll see you soon.